Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for finding me. If you could give us a sub, that would be a huge help. I know I sound like a broken record at the front of all these videos, but it's true. If you want to give us a comment, tell me what kind of movies you like, what kind of Blu-rays you collect, what you think about the contents of this video, what other kind of stuff I should do, please feel free to do so. I love engaging with people in the comments. Again, I say this a lot, but it really is the best thing about doing this channel is the community that's been built around it, the people I've been able to meet, the films I've been able to hear about, and the interactions I've been able to have. It's really super cool, so I really like doing that, so please do leave a comment. So what are we here to talk about today? We're here to talk about Arrow. Arrow has announced 2 new Shaw films. One was announced a while ago. I just never did a video about it because I was pretty busy and I dropped the ball and I wasn't sure that anyone would really care that much. That's a bad thing to say, but I'll explain why in a second. And then like a week or two ago, they announced another pretty big Shaw title. I mean, these are 2 of probably the biggest Shaw titles around. So I'm gonna tell you what they're putting out. I'm gonna read you the special features just off of the website here. If you saw my last video with the Eureka announcements, I have kind of a weird setup going on right now. I'm down in the laundry room. It's very late at night. I'm pretty tired, so I apologize up front if this video goes off the rails. But I'm getting glare from multiple sources, so I'm like a little bit stiff and awkward in these videos, so I apologize for that. So the first one here, which was announced, well, I don't know, a couple months ago maybe, which will be coming out 22nd of March 2022, is Come Drink With Me, the absolutely classic King Hu film from, I believe, 1966. And I mean, if you don't know this film, this really is like one of the seminal films in kind of the evolution of classic Hong Kong cinema. Like, it was really this movie, and then I mean, as best, I'm not like, you know, a film historian, but as best I understand it, it was like this movie, and then the year after this, in 1967, you had Chong Che's One-Armed Swordsman, and that was kind of like, you know, everything just kind of blew up from that in terms of those classic old school Shaw Brothers films, and then, you know, Golden Harvest following on after that because Raymond Chow worked for Shaw Brothers and stuff. But like this film, and then obviously One-Armed Swordsman, really were like ground zero for these new style of films, and for these films being bigger budgeted kind of movies that blew up into the mainstream and were, you know, like created this whole huge cinema culture. So it can't be overemphasized how important this film is. Now, that being said, 88 Films released this movie less than 2 years ago, and it was like a brand new scan, and it looks fucking fantastic. And so from what I understand, Arrow snapped up a whole butt ton of licenses for Shaw films all at once in like this giant kind of package deal. And a lot of them were ones that had just lapsed from 88. So there are films that 88 has just put out that Arrow is now announcing and putting out, and they kind of just like snapped those rights up and they're moving right into it. And so it's a great title. It's a great film. Arrow releases stuff in the US and the UK, so this will be a Region A release for those of you who are unable to get the Region B release from 88 Films. But it does get, you know, it sparks this debate of like, is it too soon? Is the market oversaturated? Do we not need 2 Blu-ray releases of the same film within 2 years of one another? Sure, there's a US and a UK version, but beyond that, and there's a lot of bonus features on here. There's a lot more than there are on the 88 one, but the 88 one is a really solid, really good release. And so, you know, like I've been having conversations with people, they're like, should I sell my 88 one? Because the 88 one is now out of print because they lost the license. So it's like, oh, is that worth money now? Or is no one going to want it because they want the Arrow one? Or like, should I sell the 88 one and use that to buy this one? Or like if I'm in the, you know, obviously I'm in the US, so like it would be easier for me to have the Region A one, but I already have the other one. So it's like, it sparks the issue of redundancy and oversaturation. So if you want to talk about that in the comments, please give me your thoughts, because I would be interested to hear them, because I've heard a lot of really interesting takes in the past couple weeks from very smart people with a lot of experience with the film industry and stuff like that. So I'm learning a lot, and it's really interesting for me. So to get into this is Come Drink With Me, like I said. And so you're getting a high definition, which is a 1080p Blu-ray presentation. I don't know if that's going to be any different from what's on the 88 release. If you want me to buy this release, get the footage off of it and do a comparison video, let me know, and I will think about it. Because right now I'm like, do I need to buy this? But if people want me to buy it to do comparison videos so that they can see whether or not they should buy it, let me know in the comments, and maybe I could use some of our like ad revenue from Google that we got from our YouTube videos to buy this. Because in my mind, the money that we earn from the YouTube ads is money that we earn from our audience. So basically, tell me what you want me to do with it so that I know what kind of videos you guys want. So that's across the board. That's always true. If there's a release you really want me to look at, if there's something you're interested in me doing, and if you like, we have a Patreon too, and our patrons are awesome, and I have amazing conversations with people on there. I'm trying as best I can to get like exclusive videos up there. I've gotten 2 up in the past 3 weeks or so. So if you want to go over there and contribute and hop on that too, you can help steer the direction of what kind of videos I'm doing and stuff like that. But generally speaking, if there's something that you want me to get and check out and talk about, hop in the comments and tell me. So like I said, it's the Blu-ray presentation. So you have the uncompressed Mandarin and English original mono audio, optional English subs plus English hard of hearing subs for the English dub. Brand new audio commentary by film critic and historian Tony Raines. So I think people will be really excited about this because I know people really like Tony Raines. I think Sam Deegan, this is just me thinking off the top of my head. I didn't actually look at the release before I did this video, but I think Sam Deegan, who did the Chinese boxer commentary for 88, did the Come Drink With Me commentary for 88 as well, but I have to go back and check, so don't quote me on that. So Tony Raines, like I said, people really, really love Tony Raines. I have never heard Tony Raines commentaries or interviews. I read one Tony Raines article that someone linked me to, but that's about my whole experience with him. There's an interview with star Cheng Pei Pei, who's like just exceptionally legendary, who was in this, and then, you know, it's in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, probably because of this, because Ang Lee was really influenced by King Hu, who directed this film. King Hu is an extremely important filmmaker from Taiwan, was making films in Hong Kong and Taiwan, did, you know, Dragon Inn, which is one of my all-time favorite, like, old-school martial arts and Shaw films, did A Touch of Zen, which Criterion has put out. Criterion has also put out Dragon Inn, incredible film. So, interview with star Yue Hua, or Yu Hua, and both of those are filmed by Frederic Ambrosine, one in 2003, one in 2007. And then we have an interview with star Che Huang Lei, filmed also by Frederic Ambrosine, 2003, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of everyone's names here, and I apologize for that. I don't speak Cantonese, and I don't speak French. So then we have Talk Story with Cheng Pei Pei, a 2016 Q&A at the University of Hawaii, moderated by George Chun Han Wong. That sounds really cool. Cinema Hong Kong, Sword Fighting, a documentary on the history of the wuxia genre and Shaw Brothers' contributions to it, produced by Celestial Pictures in 2003, and featuring interviews with Cheng Pei Pei, Gordon Liu, Lau Kar Lung, John Woo, Sammo Hung, Carol Hui, David Chang, and others. Okay, so I just convinced myself that I need to buy this. I had previously looked at what was on here, and I knew there was a documentary, but I didn't read the fine print. Original theatrical trailer plus the trailer for the sequel, The Golden Swallow. And there are people who believe The Golden Swallow is a far superior film and like one of the great martial arts films and one of the most underrated Shaw and old school martial arts films ever made. So keep your ear to the ground for that one if you're a big fan of those films and you haven't seen it. Image Gallery reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Tony Stella. And then in the first pressing only, an illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Ann Bilson, who I believe she's a novelist who does like horror stuff and satire and things of that nature. So I always think it's really interesting to hear artists talk about other mediums of art. So like a novelist writing about a film, I don't know, a filmmaker talking about music. Like the way that artists' minds work and the way that they perceive things, I always find to be really fascinating. So that's really interesting to me. 2010 essay by George Chun Han Wang, about the relationship between director King Hu and producer Run Run Shaw. That sounds pretty interesting. So there you go. So this is the Come Drink With Me release from, I mean, that's loaded. That's a shitload of extras. And that's 22nd of March of 2022. And then we have the other title that they announced. Oh, and I should also say there's 2 different covers for Come Drink With Me. And I think you have to buy one or the other. So one of them is like the old school poster, which was the cover of the 88 release, I believe. And then the other one is like new artwork that they have. So I mean, I kind of prefer the old poster, to be honest with you, but just FYI, there are versions of that. And then with the next title that I'm going to announce too, same thing. There's 2 different covers. There's the old school poster and there's the newly commissioned artwork. So 8 Diagram Pole Fighter. Maybe you heard of this movie. I mean, it's one of the most famous Shaw Brothers films out there. If you read a lot of lists of like the best Hong Kong films, the best martial arts films, the best Shaw films, this movie is always on there. It's insanely famous. There's so many famous sequences in this film. It may have inspired a lot of people to become dentists. Um, so, doo-doo. This drops on the 5th of April, 2022. And again, this is one that just came out from 88. And I do have to say, I thought that the audio commentary, and off the top of my head, I honestly can't remember who did it for the 88 one, but he was a novelist, if I remember correctly. Like, he wrote like sci-fi novels and stuff like that. And I actually emailed with him because I talked in my review of that release about how I loved that commentary track. And the guy who did it reached out to me, and we ended up exchanging emails, and we emailed each other for a bit. And he was really, really nice to me. And he's like a really interesting guy and very intelligent. And his thoughts on that movie, and he talks about the history of it and the artistry of it. I thought it was a fantastic commentary track. I still remember a lot of it, like whatever. I think I reviewed that maybe like 18 months ago or so. I don't remember exactly when, but so anyway, so to tell you what's on here, there's a brand new 2K restoration from the original camera negative by Arrow Films. So there you go right away. You know that this is not going to be the exact same version that is on the 88 release. So that's obviously something they're using right away to kind of rope you in. You get the original lossless Cantonese, Mandarin, and English mono audio. Optional English subs plus hard of hearing subs for the English dub. Brand new commentary, by Jonathan Clements, who is the author of A Brief History of China. So I'm assuming he's a historian of some kind. I'm not sure who that is because I'm just reading this for the first time for you here. Newly filmed appreciation by film critic and historian Tony Raines. So like I said, people go nuts for Tony Raines. They love Tony Raines. A lot of people were really upset that the Tony Raines commentaries on Wong Kar-wai films were not included in the Criterion set, so I guess he's done stuff. I think I read an essay. The essay of his I read, I believe, was about Wong Kar-wai. So, an interview with stars Gordon Liu, Lily Lee, and Young Ching Ching, which were all filmed by Frederick Ambrosine in 2004. A tribute to Fu Sheng, which is a short film commemorating the late actor who played before early screenings of the 8-diagram pole fighter. Excuse me. The grammar here is a little bit confusing, to be perfectly honest with you. If you didn't know, my day job is I do communications, so I get really picky about grammar. A short film commemorating the late actor that played before early screenings of the 8-diagram pole fighter, presented via a German-dubbed telescene, which is apparently the best available copy, with English subtitles. So as you know, Fu Sheng was originally supposed to be the star of this film, and then he passed away, which is why he kind of disappears from the movie partway through. Alternate opening credits as the Invincible Pole Fighters, theatrical trailer, image gallery, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Mark Aspinall. So I guess there's two different slip cases, but once you get into the inner artwork, you can choose which one you want. And then an illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Terrence J. Brady. So there you go, that's the 8-diagram pole fighter. These are both coming from Arrow. I'm looking at the Arrow US store right now, and it's in here. So I'm assuming it's going to be like the Shawscope set, that it's a and B release, so you can get it in the UK and in the US. So those are new releases from Arrow. You're watching Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. My name is Will. I thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.